When some loud bragger tries to put me down and says his school is great, I tell him right away, now what's the matter, buddy? Ain't you heard of my school? It's #1 in the state. So be true to your school now.
My philosophy on teaching is just like my 7th grade students, continuously growing and changing. My name is Katy Sonksen, and I teach English Language Arts and advise the After School Journalism Club at Franklin Community Middle School in Franklin, Indiana. The college athlete in me is always striving to push myself to be the best I can be in everything I do. Right now, I'm working hard to hone my teaching skills, trying to figure out the best way to be an impactful instructor and advisor. I know I'm not the only one out there on this journey. Teachers all over the world are striving to improve at their jobs. Though I am no expert, what I do have is some insight into how students learn and the most effective ways to apply these strategies in the classroom. My core values as a teacher are creativity, teamwork, and self-efficacy. Each of these values can be deeper understood through the examination of related learning theories. Here at my school, we are taking steps to help foster creativity and innovation through the use of technology. Fortunate enough to be a one-to-one device school, each of our students is given a Chromebook to use for educational purposes throughout their time in our district. This opportunity has lent itself splendidly to my values and goals as a teacher. Connectivism, regardless of whether thought to be a learning theory or instructional strategy, promotes the use of technology and the internet to deepen learning. Here at FCMS, we have the ability to use these tools on a daily basis, taking full advantage of the digital age. Today, I will be talking to 2 members of the FCMS community about their experiences with the benefits of technology in the classroom and examining how motivation, constructivism, and self-efficacy theories lend themselves to the understanding of why these strategies work.
I'm Leanne Eaker, and I teach 7th grade digital citizenship. We get a little bit of computer science in that class. It's kind of a catch-all for technology. We've gone one-to-one, which has really played a big role in technology. It's my role to teach students how to be safe on the internet, to start creating positive digital footprints, to make sure they have keyboarding skills, introduce them to Google Apps and how they can use them to create and communicate.
With access to such vast amounts of information nowadays, one might assume that learning comes more easily to today's students. However, access to information is not what drives students to open themselves up to learning. What really drives them is motivation. Motivation can be driven by many different factors, such as for good grades, to not get in trouble with their parents, or the one that all teachers hope for, because they truly are interested in the topic and invested in learning about it. Motivation and investment go hand in hand. Constructivists believe that knowledge is constructed by learners as they attempt to make sense of their experiences. Students seek meaning regardless of what is being learned. So, how do we create this meaning for our students so that they're invested in discovering the information?
My name is Ann Wilson, and I'm an instructional coach here at the school. I think with a learning objective that the students know where that lesson is going that day, but also to give it meaning, like why are we learning this? And I think students really need to know the why of every lesson. And if a teacher can offer that and explain this is important because, I think it helps the children become more invested.
To start with this, allowing students to be creative, discover new information, problem solve, and make real-world connections are all ways teachers can guide students to help them discover additional meanings for themselves and apply material to their own lives.
I think we have to give them more problem-based learning, more real-world experiences, assignments, giving them an opportunity to see the value in what they're doing and how it applies to the world and making it more applicable.
Bruner says, discovery teaching generally involves not so much the process of leading students to discover what is out there, but rather their discovering of what is in their own heads.
Well, I just had something happen today in a social studies class where they were writing a constructed response to a question, and I asked them to use 2 pieces of information, and they had those 2 pieces, and a student raised his hand and said, well, I'm actually asking more questions about the Chinook tribe, and I got online and I found an article that would be very helpful to my piece. So I said, okay, just add that in. So he was very interested to pursue a question he had, and it came into his writing. And that was pretty powerful, and I shared that with the whole class, that he went above and beyond the expectations.
In order to cognitively grow, we must present them with the right opportunities to find meaning. I often talk about the word create in my classes. My students know that I try to incorporate some amount of creativity in all of my assignments. I believe that creativity in terms of choice topics and alternative formats for a final project are all important things to include in a project or unit to keep students interested and motivated. I believe that the result of this is that we will have better writers, broader thinkers, and more confident communicators.
I think creatively, I think assessing learning, and not only just like a Google form quiz, but I think students being able to do projects. And I think you're better able to reach a variety of students because you're not just giving them that typical paper pencil kind of test. And I think some of the work that students create artistically and just new ideas, and I think it's easier for them to see how it applies to life and how you can do that beyond school.
In addition to creativity, teamwork is another trait that I highly value. Middle grade students can be taught so much, including how to work collaboratively and be a valuable member of a group. Collaborative learning, problem solving, and general group work can increase the motivation of many students. Constructivism and its theorists support this notion of social learning being invaluable to the classroom. Bruner states, learning in most settings is a communal activity, a sharing of the culture. And Vygotsky says, higher mental processes are developed through social interaction.
I do find more confidence because I think with technology, at least within my classroom, I feel like I can give them more choices on how they present what they learn and how they do it. And because they have more choice, I think they learn more and they can be more interested.
And as we now know, motivation can be the deciding factor for a student's cognitive growth and overall success in school and beyond. Students cannot be expected to learn to deal with complexity unless they have the opportunity to do so. However, as many wonderful learning opportunities we present to a student, if they do not believe they can, they won't.
I had a student that really could not spell, but had some really good difficulties with writing, and so I would allow the student to do voice text, and it was pretty cool to see the transition of the student from the beginning of the year to the end of the year and what they could do because of that one tool.
I believe that being a good teacher is not just about teaching my content area, but allowing students to develop their own abilities, ones they are confident in.
I think that students can pick up if a teacher isn't confident.
If the teacher is not confident in their abilities to motivate students, the entire classroom environment is negatively affected.
We have the power now to film teachers and share that film, and the teachers analyze that data and see what their weaknesses are and what their strengths are, and then we set goals and hopefully meet the targets by using different strategies.
Teachers lack confidence that they themselves can affect their own students' motivation. So, how do we employ the appropriate motivational conditions for all learners? If we want our students to be confident, we must be confident first in our role as a teacher. This may sound overwhelming. We all struggle with confidence in our abilities at times, but I truly believe that part of being a teacher is believing that you can be an example for all students. That does not mean always being right. It means being transparent, admitting when you are wrong, and joining students on a quest for new information that you both don't know. If you model a lifelong desire to learn and improve, your students will too. And if they can walk away with learning anything from your class, let it be to continue discovering, exploring, and learning.